Guys, what's happening? This is Ken Sr. from the New England Motorcycle Museum with my better half, Christy.
Hi, everyone.
We have been bouncing around Alabama license plates at the bottom say, God bless America. That's enough reason to like this place. But check it out, man. We are at it was the Holy Grail. If yesterday was the Jerusalem for motorsports V-twin engines, then this here is heaven. We're going to heaven for vintage motorcycles. This is the #1 motorcycle museum in the world. It is the Guinness World Book of Records confirmed. The Barber Motorsports Park here, and it is a park, a motorsports park in a motorsports museum. This place is absolutely ridiculous. It's got 80 some odd acres of beautiful, gently rolling hills, a massive contemporary glass 5-story building specifically designed and engineered to house motorcycles. George Barber was inspired quite some time ago, probably 25 years ago, and wanted to give back to his community. He's a very successful business owner in the Birmingham, Alabama area, and he wanted to create a legacy. He was going to open an auto museum, and a good friend of his says, you know, why don't we look into motorcycles instead? And actually, he had some bikes. He gave a bike to George, and it lit a fire in George to do the motorcycle museum. So they started off over 25 years ago with a few bikes, and they built up, and they bought this property here, and George invested, I don't know how many millions of dollars. I'm going to guesstimate he must have $75 million into this facility. It's certified the largest motorcycle museum in the world. I mean, I'm a guy who spent my entire life obsessed with motorcycles. 50 years I've been obsessed with motorcycles. I'm 55 years old. I've owned thousands of motorcycles. Right now I probably own somewhere in the area of 500 motorcycles, and this has been on my bucket list. If you are a motorcycle lover, look at the landscaping here. If you are interested in motorcycles, this has to be on your bucket list to get up here to the Motorsport Park. So if you follow our channel, you know that I've invested somewhere in the area of $7.5 million in our museum and buildings. 11 acres in the middle of Rockville, a abandoned factory that I turned into a museum. Repurposed it. This here is a purpose-built facility from the ground up specifically for what it's doing. And there it is right there. It's when you come over the top here, it's kind of like seeing the castles in the Wizard of Oz up on the horizon. Maybe there's a field of poppies here. Look at these, look at the signs rolling in. I've watched videos. I've had this on my bucket list to come down here. They do events here, massive events. Not only is it a motorsports museum, they also have the world's largest Lotus car collection in here, over 50 Lotus cars. And they have a 2.38 mile national caliber road race track where they do Porsche driving schools, and they also do the Porsche track experience, as you can see by the sign right there, Porsche track experience. They do the vintage days here also. I did say it's an event center. They have multiple events here. The one that I'm and you are most interested in probably is the October 8th, 9th, and 10th of 2021. They're actually doing the 16th annual Barber Vintage Fest. Barber Vintage Fest. And what is that? Well, it is a largest gathering of vintage motorcycle aficionados in the world. They even have on the map, the Vintage Japanese Motorcycle Club has their own area, the Antique Motorcycle Club of America. I judge shows for the AMCA, and I also am the Eastern Connecticut ambassador for the Antique Motorcycle Club of America. I own the New England Motorcycle Museum, and I'm completely obsessed with motorcycles, so I'm probably uniquely qualified to give you my perspective on this. And I'm really excited, if that's not already obvious. Look at that, just unbelievable art. There's artwork all over the park too that's been kind of goes hand in hand, artwork. And over there you'll see the actual scoring tower. They have for the racetrack, like you would see at Daytona, they have a glass walkway when you're in the museum that you can walk out over the racetrack, so you're looking at the racetrack through glass underneath it. It's the only one of its kind in the world. It's the finest in the world, and I'm going to give you the best tour of it I can possibly come up with. So guys, it was quite a journey to get here. You know, we haven't really talked about it yet. I'm not sure if that right now is the right time, but we bought 2 of our cats down here to Amber, Christy's daughter, and one of them got really sick, and we were actually here 3 days ago camping out And unfortunately, our cat got sick, so we had to drive a 600-mile round trip back to Dothan, and our cat died, and we lost Chloe, the little white kitty. So it's really sad. But out here, geez, what was it, like 3 days ago? We were here.
No, we were just here 2 days ago.
2 days ago. Yeah, we were here 2 days ago, and we were parked in this very spot right here. The front gate was open. We tried to get to the campground, and the campground was closed, and the gate was closed, and we had to back down this mountainside to get out of there.
It was. We went through. I can't even describe the horror show that we were stuck on a mountain. The gates were closed. It took us forever to turn around and hopefully not damage the trailer. Never mind get down the mountainside. We went to dinner after all of that. That was an experience because everything was closing. We finally, we were like, okay, it's going to work out. We're going to start the day the next morning. And then I got the call, and she threw a blood clot. It was saddle thrombosis, very rare, and unfortunately it took her. But Ken got me to her on time to say goodbye, so I am grateful for that. And we're back here, and we're going to do it again.
Yeah,
we're going to try this again.
We actually, the last time we were here, we were pulled up here around 11 o'clock 2 days ago, I think it was, and security came up and said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, the gate was open. We thought we could park here for the night." He goes, "You can't stay. They kicked us out." I gave him my brochure. I said, "I'm from the New England Motorcycle Museum. We're here to see the museum." And he's like, "I don't care who you are. You can't stay," basically. So we got kicked out. I'd like to say I've been kicked out of better places than this, but that's not the case. So we made better arrangements this time with the campground, and we found out how to get in there.
The campground is very beautiful that we're at.
Yeah.
So Oak Mountain.
So without further ado, of the Holy Grail, this is heaven for vintage motorcycle lovers. Let's go in, and I'll share the experience with you. Stay tuned. God bless America. This is part 1. There'll be a part 2 and maybe a part 3. Just the intro here. So the grounds of this place rival a state or national park for sure, and what you'd expect in an upscale mall as far as the parking arrangements, the lighting. There's a ridiculous amount of money put into here. I guessed on how many millions, but it could be substantially more. It's a 5-story contemporary building. It has a you're going to see when we get inside, glass cases, glass elevator. It's absolutely spectacular. Some of the guys that work here have been here for over 25 years. One of them who restores motorcycles, they have a full restoration shop. Now there's about 1,000 bikes on display. There's another 600 to 900 that are downstairs, either being restored or already restored, waiting to be put in here in the museum. But they're constantly restoring bikes here. This is probably one of the finest restoration shops in the world for vintage motorcycles. And you may not know this, but there's over 2,200 brands of motorcycles is what I heard have been made. You know, we think of the big four and Japanese, and then Harley and Indian, a few other ones, but over 2,200 brands of motorcycles have been made. And as I understand it, I think there's 220 brands of motorcycles in here. This sculpture, commissioned by the Barber Motorsports Museum, personifies the motion, strength, and integrity that I associate with the racetrack and motorsports competition. The over life-size scale the figures indicates the superhuman power and sense of achievement that one experiences on the track. The sculpture, made of cast stainless steel, took over a year to create. Each 3,000-pound figure was cast in 28 different pieces, welded together, ground out, and finished with a patina, metal patina. That's pretty wild. So, beautiful flower gardens, just spectacular. Anyways, I'm going to end this video. This is the end of part 1. We're about to walk in, so stay tuned. God bless.